Om Namah Shri Yatirajaya Vivekananda Suraye Satchit Sukha Swarupaya Swamine Tapaharine. My pranams to the revered monks present here, and namaskars and greetings to all the friends, devotees, guests who have assembled here on this Sunday morning. The subject is Swami Vivekananda's practical Vedanta. It's a common subject when we Ramakrishna Mission monks, when we talk about it. Sometimes we joke about it also. One of my friends, who is a doctor, he's a monk and a doctor. One day sitting in Belur Mutt at breakfast, he was telling me, you know what is practical Vedanta? He is saying in a tone of exasperation. If you tell somebody, this monk, some monk he was saying, you tell them to do something practical, वो वेदांत का lecture देगा आपको. यही practical वेदांत है. The story of Swami Vivekananda and Vedanta, it starts with Sri Ramakrishna. So we have to go back to Sri Ramakrishna, then come back again to Vivekananda and Vedanta. The highest of all is love. What I mean by that is the highest of all disciplines, of all subjects, is philosophy. Higher than that is spirituality. And the highest form of spirituality is love. Swami Vivekananda, he said about Sri Ramakrishna, he was love personified. He would spell it out, L-O-V-E, love personified. See, when we read about Sri Ramakrishna or hear about Sri Ramakrishna, first what strikes us is his extraordinary life. God-intoxicated life. His extraordinary spiritual experiences, so many visions, so many samadhis, and an American writer called him a super mystic, Sri Ramakrishna. So we see that. This is a person who has seen God and manifests it in his daily life. It's an extraordinary testament to the reality of spirituality and religion. That's one part of it. Also, we see his amazing teachings. His teachings are so deep, so profound, so simple, so practical also. The book Kathamrita, Vachanamrita in Hindi, Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna in English, a spiritual masterpiece, no doubt. We see that also. But what is often missed, because we are not seeing him directly, we are not living with him directly, what we often miss is those who saw him and lived with him, the first thing they noted about him is not his spiritual teachings, not his philosophy, not even his samadhi. What they noted was love. We miss that often in the books. Swami Vivekananda says he was L-O-V-E, love personified. From Sri Ramakrishna we hear, Jai Ram, Jai Krishna, Shai Idaning, Ramakrishna. Clearly, he has said number of times. Not just once to Vivekananda, we hear the story at the end of his life, he said that he who was Rama, he who was Krishna is in this body, Ramakrishna. That even now you are doubting, like story we have heard, but it is the fact that he has said it number of times. Swami Abhedanandaji, another disciple of Sri Ramakrishna, he is the only one of the direct disciples whose audio recording, whole speech is available to us. Thanks to All India Radio, 1936, they recorded Swami Abhedanandaji's speech on the birthday of Sri Ramakrishna. There he says, how many times from his own mouth we have heard Jai Ram, Jai Krishna, Shai Idaning, Ramakrishna. He's an avatar. And why does the avatar come? What is avatar? Sri Ramakrishna also says this, that Tini Shabhoich, and God has become all of this. So in one sense we can say God has become all of this means all of this. All beings, the entire universe is also avatar of Brahman. Because Brahman has come as all of this. But when we say avatar, it means something different. It means something different from us. It means something different from other living beings or the non-living world. Avatar is a special descent, a special manifestation of the divine. And why does this divine become manifest? Why did Sri Ramakrishna come? Why did Rama come, Krishna come? Why do the avatars come? Why did specially Sri Ramakrishna come? We also read in Gita that dharma sthapana. So all of this we read. And we salute also Sri Ramakrishna. Stapakaya cha dharmasya sarva dharma swarupini. We do that also. But higher than all of that, even dharma samstapana, to establish religion, to prove that religion is real, spirituality is real in this day and age, it needs to be done again and again. Because otherwise it becomes ancient and we forget that it is something real and vibrant and meant for us. I've heard in other religions, for example, a Buddhist master in America, he was giving a speech, I heard that. Nirvana, the goal. He says, yes, Buddha and some of his disciples attained it, but it is very difficult to attain these days. The idea becomes, after some time, 500 years, 1,000 years later, that it was possible for them. Now we just have to believe and follow. Maybe in some lifetime we can achieve. No. It is meant for us in this life and for all of us. Anybody who wants God realization, anybody who wants self-realization, it is meant for us. I mentioned a saint, Premanandaji, one episode I saw online. One sadhu is talking with him that Mahatmaji, sadhu is very learned, Vaishnava sadhu, is asking a question. Mahatmaji, you are saying all these things, it's very good. But Krishna has said, Bahunam Janmanamante, at the end of many lives, Jnanavan Mam Prapadyate, Vasudeva Sarvamiti, Sa Mahatma Sadurlabha. That one sees God everywhere, Vasudeva. But that is a very rare thing. And that is at the end of many lives. Bahut janma ke baad, end of many lives of sadhana. And that Swami, the teacher, I still remember, with the glowing face, with such tremendous emphasis, he says, Yahi wo janma hai Mahatma ji, yahi wo janma hai. This is the life, we will get God realization. See, what great joy, and it is possible in this life. So that is dharma samstapana, that to establish religion, not only in community, in society, in the hearts of all beings, that we are also spiritual, we can also be spiritual, we can also realize God in this life itself. True, that is the reason why avatar comes. But why, even that one, you know why he does? Why the avatar does that? Why does he establish religion again and again? That is also because of love. So the love is the real reason. The love of God for man, the love of the divine for the human. For that reason, the divine descends into the human form to play amongst us and show us the way to enlightenment. The motivation is always this divine love. When Sri Ramakrishna comes, we see this divine love first manifested in a Godward direction. We see that when he goes to the temple of Kali, he becomes the worshipper, the pujari of Kali. Is this image real or is it just an image? Is it just stone or is it consciousness? Can it be experienced? Does Ma really exist here? Can I see Ma? See, it is an empirical religion for an empirical age. This is the age where we want not only to believe, not only to understand, but we want to see. We want proof in this age. This is the age of science. And here is the super mystic for the age of science who says, can I see God? And it becomes a passion, a madness for him. We have read one extraordinary story of how he cried and wept for Ma. We read only the crying and the weeping, but we also should see every other sadhana, whatever was available to him, he did it meticulously. The puja, the japa, the meditation, all, whatever he had found, whatever had been taught to him, in any way, if somebody said, in this way you can see God, he would try it out. And he would weep for mother. We have read those stories, how in the evening, as the sun is setting on the bank of the Ganga, he would fall down flat and rub his face on the ground and weep. One more day has gone, mother, you still have not shown yourself to me. I have not still been able to see. He wept so bitterly, tears would flow down from his cheeks up to his chest. Of course, people thought this young man, the new priest, he is maybe missing his mother. He has come from a village. So his mother, he's crying for his mother. He was crying for his mother, but for his divine mother, the mother of all beings. And of course, the mother responded. And we also read about the first vision of Kali. And then subsequently, vision of the mother. Often throughout his life, although he did so many sadhanas, beginning to end, he remained a child of the mother. His attitude was, God is mother, I am the child of mother. He had so many extraordinary visions. And not only as a form of Kali, in so many different ways. Again, empirical, not in just one way, in many ways. Swami Tapasyanji said Sri Ramakrishna was a glutton for God. Glutton means greedy for food. So he's greedy for God. In any way, in wherever there are sadhakas, there are spiritual people, he would be eager to go and listen and to see if I can realize God in that way, experience God in that way. And the mother also provided teachers of various kinds. The Ramayat Sadhu, who came with the little Ramlala. The worship of Krishna as Radha Krishna, as Gopala. The Bhairavi Brahmani, who taught him Tantra. And so on. Many others came, from whom some he talked with them, from some he absorbed. And he was very meticulous about citation, reference. So when he would talk, so and so said so, like this he would mention. He was very meticulous. So in this way, a spiritual storm seized him. 12 years. That's another amazing part. Such a sadhana, and recorded just the other day, 19th century, end of 19th century. So it culminated. Totapuri came, Nirvikalpa Samadhi. He had experience of God in various religions, in Christianity, in Islam, showing the truth of all paths. And in the final transcendent Nirvikalpa Samadhi, teachings of Advaita Vedanta and attainment of full Brahma Jnana, the knowledge Aham Brahmasmi in Nirvikalpa Samadhi. At that point, he would expect it to stop. Now, what he wanted, he has got. But amazingly, a new form of that love took over. Till now, the love was flowing Godwards. Now it turns around and sees suffering humanity. And the love flows out towards humanity, towards us. He has reached the roof of the house. Now he looks back at the rest of the house and sees what is it made of. He says it is the same thing. It's not that till now his love was for Kali, for God, for Brahman. Now his love is for human beings. No, his love is only one-pointed. It is for God. It is for the divine. But now he was seeing divine in the transcendent, having attained God realization, and in multiple forms. Now he sees God in the immanent, in the midst of all beings, manifested as this entire universe. He would say, the Lord, she has become everything in this universe. Same, his mother, he's finding in all of us. And starts his worship of God in humanity. He finds God in us. He also sees the suffering humanity and what we need. And so, roof of the house, he would literally run up to the roof of one of the buildings in the Dakshineshwar temple, and he would cry out into the dark night. In the evening, after Arati in the night, he would cry out, "Where are you, my children? Come, I am waiting for you." Today we have, social media blast or something, post it on social media. And one sadhu said, in Uttarakhand, one sadhu said, आजकल के वेदांती तो पोस्टर छपवा के वेदांत पढ़ाते हैं. So that poor Mahatma, he does not know what we do today. Not only poster days of poster is gone. Now it is all digital. The traditional Vedanta was not like this. Traditional Vedanta is student is interested. Then only it is. This is the highest thing. This is not meant for advertisement. This is not meant for street handing out brochures. No. Other forms of religion, that's fine, they can do that. Vedanta is too precious. And so only meant for those who are qualified, those who really want it. Sri Krishna does not start speaking in the Bhagavad Gita until Arjuna finally asks a question. He says, "Tell me, this is my problem. You are my teacher, I am your student. Only you can." Then he starts speaking. Nachiketa asks Yamaraj. Then Yamaraj teaches him Vedanta. So, this teaching of Vedanta is Sri Ramakrishna's way was not social media. He just put it out into the universe. Come. And they started coming. The disciples came and we know the story. But speciality is now our subject today, Swami Vivekananda. What Sri Ramakrishna needed was somebody who would transmit this message to the world. Sri Ramakrishna himself is a super mystic. He cannot go around giving lectures and writing books. Avatar does not come for philosophy. Avatar comes for spirituality and for love. And that spirituality is also for love, just out of love for us. Not for lecturing, not for philosophy, not for debating, not for writing books. For that is necessary. For that, another type of spiritual giant is necessary. There is a Vedanta book called Vedanta Dindima. Dindima means big drum. So you need a drum, the drum beat of Vedanta. They say, and there's a saying, Vedanta Keshari. All the animals in the forest, they run away, the jackals and all, when the lion of Vedanta roars. So you need a lion of Vedanta to spread the Vedanta in this age, the length and breadth of India and across the world in this age. So for that, he bought Narendranath, Vivekananda. We know, Narendranath thought, I am the son of Vishwanath Datta. For Sri Ramakrishna, you are the Rishi. That the divine child comes to the Rishi absorbed in meditation in some high spiritual realm and says, the earth is, the world is sinking in tamas, in darkness, in materialism. I am going there. You also come with me. You also come with me, that is that Rishi, the son of Vishwanath Datta, Narendranath Datta. Of course, he did not know all that. Sri Ramakrishna knew this. So Narendranath Datta comes, and Sri Ramakrishna starts preparing him for this task, this practical Vedanta. Now, very interesting that there is no doubt Sri Ramakrishna loved Narendranath unequally. The same love Sri Ramakrishna had great love for everybody. The same love which he had for Ma Kali, he sees Kali in everybody, God in everybody, and loves everybody, but he is loving the divine in all of us. But especially Narendranath, everybody noticed it. He has a special, unequal love. And Swami Buddhananda, in a beautiful book, Thakuren Naren, Naren et Thakur, he says, Thakur's Naren, Naren's Thakur. He says, the unequal love, asama, samani, asama, the unequal love that Sri Ramakrishna has for Narendranath is because of his equal love for all of us. Why? There's a very beautiful insight. Why? Because he needs somebody who will spread this message of life-giving message of spirituality to all of us. He needs somebody, that example, Sri Ramakrishna would himself give. The three friends are going along, there is a high wall, they don't know what's on the other side of the wall. After great difficulty, one of them climbs up on the wall, stands on the wall and sees what's on the other side. And there is something is there, he starts dancing in joy. The other two are confused, what's going on? And before telling anything, that one jumps over to the other side. And these two are confused. What did he see? Second person climbs up with great difficulty. Whatever he sees, he starts jumping and dancing in joy on the wall itself. Then he jumps over to the other side. The third person climbs up, and when he goes up there, he sees that there is a great mela there. A festival of joy is going on. Okay, videography later, huh? In this talk, we will focus on the talk. During the Q&A, if you want, you can take pictures. In the age of social media. Yeah, let's focus on the talk itself. He sees this great joy is there on the other side, a mela. And he wants to jump and join his friends there also. But he thought, if I jump over, who will call the poor people in my village? Who will tell them about this great joy, this saving, this bliss which is there? So he does not. He turns around and comes back. That third friend is Narendranath Datta. Vivekananda, Sri Ramakrishna wanted someone like that. And he found in Naren. He wanted someone, Sri Ramakrishna says, some are there who eat the mango and wipe their face. You will never know they've eaten the mango. Greatly spiritual persons, but they are very ordinary from outwardly. They are also very great. But there are some who will invite others also. You come and you taste the mango. So he realized, Narendranath he knew this is not a person who will eat the mango and wipe his face. I need him to spread. And he was open about it. He said, Naren Shikkhe Deve. Naren will teach. Simple words. Naren will teach. He wrote it down also. Naren will teach. So he was preparing Narendranath for this message of teaching. But problem. What is the problem? Narendranath does not accept Kali. He says, "Oh Thakurer ma, oh Thakur ki ma hai." I don't believe in such things. He's a member of the Brahmo Samaj. This image worship, ye Ma Kali, ye sab kya hai? This Upanishads talking about Brahman, Nirguna Brahman, I am that, and the way of only reason, only logic, only vichara. That's fine. But that is not enough. Unless Naren accepts Kali, the mission of Sri Ramakrishna will not be fulfilled. And what he wants to give us, that will not be given. Naren goes to Nirvikalpa Samadhi, what will happen? Nothing. He will say that, I want to stay there. He asked, Sri Ramakrishna asked, what do you want now? Nothing, I want to stay there. Once in a while I'll come down, have some snacks and go and stay there. Sri Ramakrishna has to scold him that, I thought you were much greater than this. That thousands of people one day will, for centuries to come, you're a banyan tree, they will find shade under you. So, today we are sitting here. All these centers, all these movements, not just the Ramakrishna order, millions of people across the world, many institutions, all of this is the banyan tree called Narendranath Datta. But this would not have happened if he had not accepted Kali. Totapuri, the great master of Advaita, when Sri Ramakrishna would chant the name at the evening, so his practice was, when sunset, you should immediately start chanting the name. Clap your hands and start chanting the name of God. And Totapuri is talking about high Advaita. And Sri Ramakrishna has a unique way of, when is it evening? Deciding evening, if he cannot count the individual hairs on his forearm, then it's dark, it's getting darker. Then it's immediately time to Ram, Ram, Hari, Hari, Govinda, Govinda. Totapuri says, kya chapati bana rahe ho? Chapati paka rahe ho? Because they do like this, when they make chapati. One little chapati story. The Himalayan monks also eat chapati, but a different kind. It's called tikkad in the Uttarakhand. So one day, I was sitting with some monks in the evening in Gangotri, in an ashram. It's a very amazing atmosphere. Towering ice-capped mountains all around, getting dark. Ganga flowing by far below. Deodar forests around, talking about Vedanta with the monks. So one devotee, he was there, he bought this tikkad, very thick, like chapati. What they do is they burn it on an open fire. They roast it on a fire. It's almost indigestible. So they bought it, and the sadhu sitting there, one sadhu, he said, tikkad. Before he broke one, he tasted it, and he scolded that man. ये तो मुलायम बना दिया, ये तो संसारी लोग खाते हैं, फिर से इसको जला के. And I told one sadhu nearby, मेरा तो पेट खराब हो जाएगा ये खाने से. तो बोले, महात्मा जी टिक्कड़ खाएंगे पेट खराब नहीं होगा, तो क्या ऐसा कभी होता है? हाँ, खाइए खाइए. So, are you making chapati? Sri Ramakrishna says, I am calling on my beloved Lord, and you are saying I am making chapati. He would not believe. When Sri Ramakrishna says, Advaita Vedanta, let me ask my mother. Totapuri thought he had gone to ask his own mother, his biological mother. He would not go to the temple. So, but Totapuri learned. We know, I'm not going to go into the story. Finally when he was ill, he decided he will give up the body. He walked into the Ganga, walked across the Ganga. The water is not rising above his knees, above his thighs. He crossed, and he realized, even my body also I cannot give up without the will of the Divine Mother. Everything here is by the will of the Divine Mother. Your samsara is by the will of the Divine Mother. Your spirituality and Vedanta is by the will of Divine Mother. Samadhi is by the will of Divine Mother. Totapuri, he attained Nirvikalpa Samadhi after 30 years of practice. That also is the will of the Divine Mother. What he did not realize, Swami Sarvapriyananda says, that he was, from childhood, he had great dispassion, vairagya, a very fit body, and absolutely unworldly, pure mind, unworldly mind. And for him, Vedanta was like hath ka khel. And that also took him 30 years of effort. But all of these are the grace of the Divine Mother. Because of the Mother's grace, he was able to attain like that. Not all can do it. And it's the Mother herself, she puts us in samsara, ties us in samsara, and frees us from samsara. Many years later in Banaras, Swami Brahmananda was there, and Ma Sharada was there. Many devotees and monks had gone. One day, Ma Sharada asked a devotee to go and ask Swami Brahmananda, ask Rakhal, why should a sannyasi, someone who wants only Brahmagyan, why should he worship Shakti? Why should he worship the Divine Mother? So when he was asked, Swami Brahmananda immediately said, Mayer hate Brahmagyanet chabikati. The keys of Brahmagyana are in the hands of the Divine Mother. Totapuri realized this. Now Vivekananda, Narendranath Datta also will have to realize. Because he has come into the hands of the great master, Sri Ramakrishna. He is a master craftsman. He is crafting Narendranath Datta and building Vivekananda there. And we know the story. His father died. And suddenly this rich family fell into utter poverty. And he's the eldest son. He was a very responsible boy. And such a brilliant young man, he can't get a job. His little brothers and sisters are semi-starving. He couldn't bear it. He knew there was not enough food in the house. He would tell his mother, and he was a bold young man and very didn't care for public opinion. He would say, I won't eat today. I've got an invitation at a friend. No invitation at a friend. He would starve the whole day so that the little food would go to his little brothers and sisters. In this desperate condition, his own spiritual practice was at its peak. Sri Ramakrishna was guiding him in many ways. He says later, how many nights he would say, he and his brother disciples, in the Samshan Ghat, in the cremation grounds, we have spent whole night doing japa and meditation. And how many times of sadhana he was doing. At the same time, terrible problem in samsara, family problems. At this point, he goes to Sri Ramakrishna. All the play of Sri Ramakrishna. Says, can you ask the mother that at least little job, money, some problems in the samsara, it can be solved, because this is her area, samsara is her area, it is her wish. Sri Ramakrishna said, look, I don't ask for such things, but you can go. Today is a very nice day, it is the Mother's Day, you can go and ask. So no, you ask, she listens to you. Sri Narendranath says to Sri Ram, वो आपकी सुनती है, she listens to you, you please go and ask. He said, no, you go and ask, she will listen, I'm telling you. And Narendranath Datta, we know the story, he goes and asks, and then he comes back in intoxicated spiritual mood. Sri Ramakrishna asks, so did you ask for money? He said, no, I saw that he was a divine presence was there. I asked for Viveka, Vairagya. Oh, how foolish. Go, ask for money, go again. So he went second time also, same result. He asked for Vivek, Vairagya, Bhakti, Jnana. Third time also, same thing happened. And then he said, now I know it is your play. Narendranath Datta said to Sri Ramakrishna, I know it is your play. Finally, Sri Ramakrishna said, all right, your family will not lack for simple food and clothing. Not that they will become multimillionaires. They will not suffer. This much I will say. And that was true throughout the rest of their lives. But the real thing was, one understanding of this episode is that he was tested. Adhikari. Krishna says, I have 4 kinds of devotees. Artha, Artharthi, Jigyasu, Jnanicha. Now, those who want something, Artharthi. Those who are in trouble, like Narendranath Datta, they are Artha. But those who want to realize God, they are Jigyasu. Narendranath Datta showed that he is a pure Jigyasu, in the middle of so much trouble also. When he is sure that asking for it from God can solve all his troubles, he can't ask for it. He can only ask for devotion, knowledge, viveka, vairagya. So he is an adhikari. But this is not the real significance of this episode. The real significance is that Sri Ramakrishna, after that, he was very joyous. He would tell everybody, Naren Kali meneche. Naren has accepted Kali. Isn't it very good? Tell me, isn't it very good? The devotees didn't understand. I guess, aap kehte hain, so if you think it's good, it's good. We don't understand. What do you mean, Naren? What is accepting Kali? What does it mean? Why is it good? But today we understand. Accepting Kali, the divinity, that she has become all of this, that he will not only go to the roof of the house, but he will also look back upon the rest. We are all waiting downstairs on ground floor. He will look back at us and see the same divinity in us. He will not only eat the mango and wipe his face, but he will call us and share. He will not jump over the wall and join the festival on the other side, but he will come back to the village, this samsara, and call all of us. So this is the meaning of accepting Kali. To see the divinity in all beings. This is why, without this, you can't understand practical Vedanta. Shiva Jnane Jiva Seva does not make sense without accepting Kali. Otherwise, what happens? I'll give a typical example, Totapuri type of example. I am Brahman, I am pure consciousness. Everything is an appearance in me, the consciousness. The Jiva is suffering, but the Jiva and the suffering are also appearances in consciousness. Swapnavat. Find out I am Brahman, that's it. Then the problem is solved. What is the need for hospital, school? What is the need to feed the hungry, heal the sick, console the suffering? Why? They are all appearances in one consciousness. After all, either they are Brahman, in which case they do not have suffering, or they are Maya, in which case also they are false. No. when you accept this Kali Meneche, that the same divine literally is in this form. You don't accept only Satchidananda part of it. The Satchidananda is in this form and suffering. And that is you can call it the play of Kali, but that suffering also must be accepted then, in that case. The great scholar Pramada Das Mitra, he writes to Akhandanandaji, Swami Akhandananda, many years later, and was the first ones to execute practical Vedanta in day-to-day life. He had established an orphanage in Murshidabad, Sargachi, the first orphanage established by our order. So this great scholar, who was a supporter, he was a devotee of Sri Ramakrishna and supporter of Vivekananda and the monks, but he was a traditional scholar. He writes that, why are you doing all these things? You are sadhus. Your job is to study the scriptures, meditate, attain God, and teach all of us, rest of us. This school, college, hospital relief, earthquake relief, flood relief, why are you doing this? Akhandanji wrote a fiery reply to it. A fiery, very inspiring reply. He says that I cannot accept your position, sir. Because Prabhudas Babu was much senior to Akhandanandaji. I cannot accept your position. You talk about self-realization. It doesn't your Vedanta. He says, your Vedanta itself say we are Brahman. What is self-realization for Brahman? We are already Brahman. And when you look around, this Brahman you are talking about, I see this Brahman daily in front of me, who is starving, who is orphaned without a child, without a parents, who is without clothes to wear, uneducated, suffering in this world. The same Brahman appearing in these ways. These are the object of my worship. If by worshipping them I will go to hell, I am ready to do that 1,000 times. Such a fiery letter he wrote there. I was reminded, yesterday I mentioned a school I saw in, I think it is in Indore. It was run by one Advaniji, and there for children of the slum, they're growing up there, for their nutrition and education, both of them. And in the speech there, Advaniji, I still remember, he said about Advaita Vedanta, he says, in our eagerness to become gods, we forgot to be human. I was very touched by that. That's the viewpoint of Vivekananda, Akhandananda and others. And I was very glad to hear afterwards, after the talk yesterday, one devotee came and told me that school Advaniji handed over to the Sharada Math, and the Matajis, they run it now. And Advaniji passed his last days in peace, and he has passed away. So I was very happy that effort is continuing and will continue. Now it's in the hands of the Sharada Math, it will continue for centuries to come. So this is Kali Mene now, accepting Kali. This is the importance of accepting Kali. Once he has accepted Kali, actually his Nirvikalpa Samadhi happened a little after that, if you see historically. And within few days of that, Sri Ramakrishna would pass away. Swami Buddhanandaji mentions in his article, in his book on Sri Ramakrishna and Narendranath, he says, the terminal cancer which Ramakrishna was suffering from, he would have actually given up his body earlier. He was waiting for completing his Vivekananda project, that this person is ready. He has attained Nirvikalpa Samadhi, Brahma Jnana, which he wanted, Vivekananda wanted. Also, he has accepted Kali. Now it is ready. And finally, he calls, just a few days before passing away, he calls Narendranath Datta and transmits to him. He could physically transmits to him all his extraordinary realizations, all his supernatural powers. In fact, he pours himself into Narendranath Datta. Narendranath Datta and Sri Ramakrishna now become indivisible now. That's why he says, I have become a fakir now. I have given away, not that he has become a fakir, but the entire power which was manifested as avatar, that flowed into Vivekananda. That would be manifested as what we call practical Vedanta. This is the basis, the source of practical Vedanta. After this, we find Vivekananda, two things he did. Next 10 years, he spread Sri Ramakrishna around. This was Holy Mother's vision. Ma Sharada in Belur Math, one day she sees in the Ganga, she has a vision that Sri Ramakrishna is going quickly down to the river. He goes down to the river, but when he gets to the river, to the Ganga, he dissolves in the Ganga. And Vivekananda comes and takes that water, which is Sri Ramakrishna Ganga, and scatters it across humanity, across the world for centuries to come. That droplet is here, we are standing today. That droplet is falling on us. This is the Sri Ramakrishna Rupi Ganga being scattered. This Ganga Jal is being scattered across the world today. This is the mission of practical Vedanta. 10 years. Within 10 years, what Vivekananda did is, just think about it. We have not understood, grasped, assimilated the contribution of Vivekananda. We are too small to grasp it. We are slowly beginning to realize, 100 years after Vivekananda. In 10 years, he did two great things. One, he built a bridge between the East and the West, between India and America. He built a bridge. And second, he awakened India to a sense of its own greatness and future. First, he went to the United States. And this entire accumulated spiritual treasury of India, he would give it there, and through America, he saw it as the emerging power center of global influence in the near future. Through that, it would spread across the world, to the West and across the world, back to India also. So this was the first thing he did. He built this bridge between East and West. He was very conscious that just as Buddha had a message to the East, I have a message to the West. There is a very beautiful book, American Veda, by Phil Goldberg. He has come to our Vedanta Society and given a talk also. How Vivekananda built this bridge of spirituality between East and West. How Hinduism influenced America. Very nice. He starts with Vivekananda. Before that, he talks about the transcendentalists, Emerson, Thoreau, Whitman and all. Then Vivekananda, establishment of the Vedanta societies. Other Swamis coming from India to the United States. And then all kinds of spiritual teachers from India, starting with Yogananda Paramahamsa, the Self-Realization Fellowship, Maharshi Mahesh Yogi of the Transcendental Meditation, the establishment of the ISKCON, the Chinmayananda, the Chinmay Mission, and so many others. And the whole yoga movement, Pattabhi Joyce, Krishnamacharya, B.K.S. Iyengar. Today, International Day of Yoga, World International Day of Yoga. This few pioneers from India. They did not, all of these Swamis, Yogis, the Siddhas, they did not have organization, they did not have money, they did not have political power, but by the sheer excellence of what they were giving there is so valuable and so wonderful, people took it up, the public took it up. They didn't have to push it, they didn't have to convert anybody, they didn't have to force anybody. It just spread because of the excellence of this message. So this is the bridge he built. And this bridge is still very strong, going strong now. And Indian spirituality has spread across the world. Today, the Honorable Prime Minister has given the term Vishwa Guru. It became like that from time of Vivekananda onwards. Literally, if you go to the West, as far as spirituality is concerned, there are so many people from across US, from across Europe, who want to come to India, or to come to the spiritual traditions of India, to spiritualize their lives, to find the still living fountain of spirituality. So this was one great thing that Vivekananda did in 10 years, in just less than 10 years. Incredible what he did there. He poured out his heart there, that enormous power which was flowing through him, Sri Ramakrishna, that he poured out in the West. And then he comes back. It's not enough. He comes back. He comes back to India and rouses his countrymen, us, to a sense of our national greatness, our future. This country he came back with Sister Nivedita. Sister Nivedita, when she sees India from the ship, she says, "Oh Swami, how peaceful." And Swami Vivekananda scolded her. He says, "No, this is the peace of the grave. People are starving. They are illiterate. They are under a colonial power. They have no other option at all. This peace is not what I want." So he wanted from tamas the country should rise to rajas. Activity, dynamism, energy, prosperity. So what the country is going through now, it is all Swami Vivekananda's practical Vedanta program. Let me give you one small example. On the ship to America, at that time he was still not well known, not known at all actually. He meets this Parsi businessman, Jamshedji Tata. And what do they talk about? This practically unknown Bengali sannyasi and this Parsi businessman, they talk about education. And that too, fundamental education in science. And Vivekananda tells him, we should have fundamental education, research institutes in science in India. Years later, towards the end of Vivekananda's life, Jamshedji writes a letter to Swami Vivekananda saying that we had met on the ship. By this time, Swami Vivekananda is very well known and he had come back to India. We had met on the ship, and you told me about the possibility of starting an institution for fundamental research in science. I'm very seized by that idea. I want to do it. And I cannot think of any better director than yourself. Swami Vivekananda, of course, had no time for that because he passed away very soon. But the letter is preserved. Jamshedji's letter is preserved. It finally became the Indian Institute of Science. I was just thinking, look at the effect of Vivekananda. For even now in Bangalore, if you go, people will say Tata Institute. But how much struggle, that also we don't know. We know, many people know up to this, that it became the Indian Institute of Science. But they don't know, the Maharaja of Mysore gave land for it. And Jamshedji Tata passed away, Vivekananda also passed away before it was established. When they applied for establishing an institute of scientific research, the British government said no. The natives have no need of scientific research. It is for us white people. Why will you do scientific research? You be babus in the office, clerk. So Sister Nivedita fought for it up to British Parliament and then got permission from there to start this Institute of Research. But story does not end there. I was thinking that how the connection is there. This institute, the people it trained, our first cadre of leading scientists. Even now, some of the top scientists in the country, they have all studied there or worked there or taught there. And they all went on to establish other institutes. The TIFR, the IITs, the first IITs, many of them were from IISc or at least studied there. And these institutes, they trained the people who, youngsters who now have powered the IT revolution in India and in the United States. All of this I was thinking as standing in Central Park in New York a few years back. The biggest event in New York, the biggest event in the year in New York is the New York Marathon. So it's either starts or concludes, I think, in Central Park. I was seeing all the banners and everything. And you know what I saw? Everywhere, sponsored by TCS, Tata Consultancy Services. So look at the thing, this Tata and Swami Vivekananda at the beginning of this scientific revolution in India. And you see the effects of it everywhere. For Vivekananda, education and spirituality were not different. This is practical Vedanta. He writes, in the cities of the West, I wandered and I was thinking, why are we suffering so much in India? And the answer I got, what is the solution? The answer I got again and again was education alone. And he writes, by education, the inner spirit, he literally says, Brahman within is awakened. By education, he says. We say by Vedanta is also education. He says in one place, to think that the scriptures, they are spiritual, they are scriptural, religion, and science, a book of physics, is not spiritual. He says this is superstition. For him, everything is spiritual. Education is spiritual, science is spiritual, all the activities, business and politics and every activity which is all Brahman after all. If everything is done in a positive spirit for the welfare and development of humanity, it is all spirituality. This is his vast, broad vision of practical Vedanta. And he says, by education, the Brahman within is awakened. And then he says, thus alone a nation is possible. A nation is possible through education, he says. And this education that you do is spiritual practice. His beautiful, soaring proclamation. My God the hungry, my God the sick, my God the illiterate, the uneducated, my God the ignorant, my God the ignorant, my God the wicked. These are the object of my special worship. See, this Brahman manifesting in these ways. And your worship is service, seva. Seva becomes spiritual practice. All of this from little saying of Sri Ramakrishna, Shiva Jnane Jiva Seva. By seeing the divine in all beings and take it seriously. If a person is sick, don't say, oh, it is only body-mind. You are Brahman, you are fine. No. You start there. Why start there? Sri Ramakrishna's another little formula. Khali pete dharma hai na. In an empty stomach, you can't have spirituality. If we are sick, physically weak, sick, physically suffering, it's difficult to be spiritual. If we are hungry, physically hungry, difficult to be spiritual. If we are desperately poor, difficult to be spiritual. If we are mentally ill or suffering, difficult to be spiritual. And so therefore, the spiritual practice is to help whoever they are, wherever they are, and uplift them Godwards. This is seva. Seva is not social service. It is dynamic Vedanta. It is practical Vedanta. Shiva Jnane Jiva Seva. Knowing the Jiva, sentient being, to be Shiva. This is Vedanta, isn't it? Tattvamasi. So in that case, all beings are Shiva. Suppose you say, I can't see Shiva in them. Then step it down. Make it, instead of Shiva Jnane, Shiva Bhave. Develop a bhava, feeling. Cultivate a feeling the divine is there. On what basis? On the basis of faith. All our Upanishads are saying that. Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. The Mahapurushas are saying that. There are 4 Ramas. You know that? Have you heard 4 Ramas? Ek Ram, Dasharat ka beta. That is the avatar who came as the prince, Dasharat. Ek Ram, Jagat Pasera. That is who came as the son of Dasharat. Vishnu, Narayan, the creator of the entire world. Then the 3rd Rama, Ghat Ghat Mein Leta, is pervading everywhere in this universe. In the hearts of all beings, in all beings living and non-living, there is the divine presence is there. Ghat Ghat Mein Leta, Ram is there. Or Chautha Ram, Sabse Nyara, Nirgun Nirakar Brahma. 4 Ramas are there. So the Rama which is present in all, the Kali which is present in all. And our worship should be as the Devata, so the worship. So, education, the medical service, then personality development, then feeding the hungry, coming to the aid of those who are distressed. These are great spiritual practices. Shiva Bhave, cultivate the Bhava. Suppose Bhava is also not coming. Bhava is also not coming. Then do it even mechanically. Shiva, he says, you can do it. Shiva Vishwase. Just believe. Vivekananda has said it. Ramakrishna has said it. So I believe. They have said it, so I believe God is there in all beings. Now let me see how I can serve. Swami Ranganathanji put it so beautifully. What is spirituality? When I close my eyes, I find peace within. When I open my eyes, my attitude is, what can I do for you? Close my eyes, peace within. Our problem is I close my eyes, very restless, very disturbed. No peace at all. If I am opening my eyes and in social media, some peace is there at least. If I try to meditate, no peace at all. And when I open my eyes, not what I can do for you, what can I get from you? So we don't have any peace. This is just the opposite of spirituality. So Shiva Jnane, Shiva Bhave, Shiva Vishwase. Vivekananda did not say Shiva Bhave or Shiva Vishwase. I'm just adding. If it's not Shiva Jnana is not possible for us, then at least do it. I remember one very senior Swami of our order, I will not take his name, he told me, when he joined Belur Math long ago, at that time Swami Madhavanandaji was General Secretary of the order, disciple of the Holy Mother, General Secretary of the order. He was a man of very few words. So this young brahmachari who worked in the temple of Sri Ramakrishna in Belur Math, who served there, did some little work what was given. He was absolutely new to the order. And he said, he got a chance to speak to Swami Madhavanji once. He said, all this work that I am doing, I don't feel that I am serving God. I don't feel I am doing for God. Because God is not yet real for me. Why are you doing it? Because you are telling me I am doing it. Very simple person. आप बोल रहे हैं, that's why I am doing it. Are you doing it for yourself? Do you have any personal gain from it? So this Swami told me, I told Maharaj, no, I don't have any personal gain. I am doing it because you are telling me. Madhavanji said, Otei have, that's enough. So even mechanically if I do, this is spiritual practice for me, Shiva Vishwase. I somehow believe God is present in all beings. And then let me do the best that I can. This is a great, most powerful spiritual practice. Very soon, by the benefit of the spiritual practice, we will see God everywhere. Ashokanandaji, he says, Where will I see God? Foolish question. Where will you not see God? He says, people always complain, in meditation difficult to focus the mind. Well, in seva, in karma yoga, focusing mind is not the problem, because the people you are serving, they'll make sure you focus the mind. Try to serve a sick person. You can't say, I can't focus my mind on the sick. No, that person will complain, scold you, and you have to do everything. Anything you start, bookshop, school, dispensary, the Narayana you are serving there, the customer in the bookshop, the student in the school, and the patient in the dispensary, they are the Narayana. They will make sure that your mind is concentrated. So, in this spiritual practice, it's very powerful in many ways. Swami Vivekananda said, he told Swami Turiyanandaji, Hari bhai, ebar ekta nuton path kore gelum. I have struck out and I have cleared a new way to God this time. As in the past, young men and women, he says, he clearly mentions women. He says, young men and women, as in the past, they reached God through vichara and dhyana and bhakti. In this age also, they will reach God through serving humanity, seeing God in all human beings and serving them. It's a powerful new method of spiritual practice. There are many, many things. Practical Vedanta has so many aspects. Shiva Jnana Jiva Seva, definitely. But also harmony of religions. I was there in the Vatican just recently. You know why I was there? So that is the head of the entire worldwide Catholic order. I was had the honor of also meeting the Pope for a short while, just a few seconds. And it was a conference. What is the conference about? 60 years ago, the Vatican issued a proclamation called Nostra Aetate. It means, in Latin, it means in our times. In that they proclaimed, there is some truth in other religions. For the first time. Until that time, all religions are false, because the name for Catholic Christianity is the one true faith. The one true faith. So there is some truth in Judaism, Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism they mentioned. This time the Sikhs also went, please include us also. So there was one representation. That is the extent to which they can go. For a Hindu it is laughable. Thousands of years ago we said, Ekam Sad Vipra Bahuda Vadanti. If you go to Vedanta Society of New York, on the side you will see it's written there. Ekam Sad, the truth is one, the wise speak of it differently. So if you have different language, different philosophy, different theology, different symbols, different practices, no problem, they're all valid. They're all valid. Sri Ramakrishna said, how can they be valid? Sri Ramakrishna said, yeah, answers are all there. Big theological questions, whole theological universities are there, 500, 600-year-old universities. They can't make up their mind how it can be that different religions are valid. Sri Ramakrishna gives simple answer, Jato mat tato path. As many faiths, as many religions, so many paths. Your theology, your prayer, your church and temple, this is not the ultimate truth. This is a path. The truth is God. The truth is not religion. Therefore, to reach that one God, that one truth, multiple pathways are there. Why multiple pathways? Because the God you worship is an infinite God. Sri Ramakrishna says, Tini ananto patu ananto. One thing he did not like is any attempt to limit the names of, limit God, the nature of God. Iti, stop. This much is God, as much I have understood, that much is God, as much in my religion, as much in my book, that much is God, outside, false. Sri Ramakrishna did not like that. Who are you to limit God? God is infinite, the paths to God are also infinite. So these were all new ideas for them. I had only 20 minutes to speak. So I thought instead of giving any theories, I'll just tell a few stories. One is that aqua, water, pani, people go to the pond and the water they are taking, Hindus call it jal, Bengalis call it jal, the Muslims call it pani, the Christians call it water, and so on. But they're the same what? Same substance. Whether you call it Allah or Jehovah or Shiva or Narayana or Buddha nature, it is the same reality, Sri Ramakrishna is saying. What a great expansion. But it is possible only in Sanatana Dharma, because from the thousands of years we have had this. Ekam Sadvipra Bahuda Vadanti. That liberality, that openness, that vastness regarding religion is there in India from ancient times. It does not require international conference and declaration and summit, and it is not only there in the Vedas. That's the greatness of Sanatana Dharma. It is there in the culture of the people. Not that people are, I have read in the Veda, Rig Veda, Ekam Sad Vipra Bahuda Vadanti, so I have to accept other religions. No, the most illiterate person in a remote village also feels that there are different kinds of religions. There are multiple temples in our village, different communities go to different temples, they're all fine. We never say this is right and all the others are wrong. So, this is another side of practical Vedanta. All of these seeds are there in Vedanta. But this extraordinary manifestation in this day and age, and the history of practical Vedanta has just started. It has barely started now. Sister Nivedita puts it in such brilliant, soaring terms that when Vivekananda goes, 11 September 1893 in Chicago, when he stands up to speak, she writes, before him was the New West. It was the Columbian Exposition. America, Europe, showing their power, their dynamism, their inventiveness, their energy, all the inventions of science. Tesla was there, electricity demonstration. Edison was there, electricity demonstration. Maxim was there, Hiram Maxim, machine gun demonstration. And so many discoveries from across the world. So the energy and dynamism of the West was in front of him. And she says, behind him, behind Vivekananda, lay 5,000 years of patient development of spirituality, the entire tradition of India. And the both of them met when Vivekananda stood up to speak. When Vivekananda stood up to speak, at that point the East and the West met, the past and the future met. So he was speaking, rooted in the past, with the full spirituality of the past, speaking to the future, speaking to us and into the centuries ahead. I am sure, as the centuries go by, all the great people, there are many great people in 19th century India, slowly they will fade away into history. We will read about them, they are great people in the history books. But Vivekananda will remain living and become taller and taller and taller as the centuries go by. We are already seeing it. How many people today, many are becoming sannyasis in the name of Vivekananda. Not just in our order. I have met people in other orders, in other religions, whose first introduction to spirituality was Vivekananda. Many are inspired to great acts of service. So many are there. Big institutions are running inspired by Vivekananda. Some are in science, some are in business, some are in politics. So, including our present Prime Minister also, inspired by Vivekananda. So, this is what we are seeing, the effect of Vivekananda. We are slowly just beginning to discover the treasure house that is Vivekananda, powerhouse that is Vivekananda. This is the Vedanta of 21st century, and it includes all the treasures of ancient Vedanta, medieval Vedanta, with the new presentation given to it by Sri Ramakrishna, Swami Vivekananda and Ma Sarada. I pray to Thakur Ma Swamiji, let the fire of Vedanta, which was transmitted from Thakur to Narendranath Datta, may it be transmitted to all of us. May we be all lit up. May our inner lives become blessed and our lives be a blessing to those around us. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. We have actually run out of time. Yes. Because we have run out of time now. So maybe a couple of questions since yeah, I'll answer it from here. I don't have to sit. I can answer from here. Just two questions. Yes, those three. That's it. I'll give quick answers. Give microphone. So those who have not asked a question, those who have not asked a question, they should get a chance. You have not asked a question, right? No. So you ask a question.
Hello.
Yes. Tell us your name and ask the question.
I am named Sharvi. I am a psychology student aiming for industrial psychology. My question is, I am just 19 years old, just entering the real world. Yes. So how should I learn as in not physically learn, but absorb in me all this knowledge and use it at 3 levels. First, for my own development. Second, for the field I am working for and the people of it. And thirdly, for everyone, like not just humans, but all the animals, plants, everything around me.
It's wonderful that at this point, very vital point in your life and career, you have had this insight. Very good. Make your life centered around values. This is the kind of person I am. I will not go below this standard. I will rise higher. Spirituality is my goal. What do you practice? One thing you do, daily read Vivekananda. In Vivekananda said, one day I will pass away. I will choose to give up this body. But I shall continue to inspire everybody until the whole world knows that it is one with God. How? He says, I will be a voice without a form. Voice without a form, those complete works of Vivekananda. There is a power there. This I want to share with everybody. There is a tremendous power there. In my own case, and I have seen in the case of others also, we study so much philosophy, shastras, and all very good, very exciting, interesting ideas. But life-saving and life-transforming, that power in simple sayings of Vivekananda, it is there. If you are in crisis, if you are in need, if you want inspiration, if you want courage, if you read Vivekananda, you will get it directly there. There is some great power working there. There is no doubt that point when Sri Ramakrishna, he transmits everything into Vivekananda, he says, I am fakir. That power is working. It worked through Vivekananda, now it's working through the words of Vivekananda. So read Vivekananda regularly. Now in your personal life, daily meditation, daily study, and daily some devotional practice. In some way, if you have a religious tradition, in whatever form you worship God, continue that. So, and then third, for in the workplace and for everybody, the idea of work as spiritual practice, seva, service. Don't have two lives. Don't have two lives. One my spiritual life and one my worldly life. No, it is one life. What is that one life? It is spiritual life. My life in meditation, in study, in devotion, and in my studies, in my career, in my relationships, in my place in the community, they are all one spiritual life. Everywhere. To everybody, I am this person who is seeking God, seeking enlightenment. Don't change your Facebook status. Now I am seeking God. No. But this should be this is the inner philosophy. Very good question. We wish you all the best. Thank you. No, only persons who have not asked.
I have
you asked a question
practiced.
Already?
No,
Yeah.
I have practiced the thoughts of Vivekananda for last 10 years.
Very good.
And I feel stuck at a stage now. Practically hitting straight on the point whenever I pass a butcher's shop and see all the birds trapped there, crying for their life. And I feeling whether I should create an alternative employment for the butcher, because on one side seeing
I got your question. Yes. So
sir, my question sharply is the Brahman alone also in a mess and at loss? Logically, can we see he is apologizing us for the inconvenience caused? Because logical contradictions don't.
I will say to you this. Go back to Vivekananda. Don't spend too much time in our own heads. If I go back to my own thoughts and feelings, half of it is garbage. It is of no use. It will not help me or help anybody else. That's why we have these high teachings, these books, so that the highest, noblest thoughts of humanity, that we can transform our lives. If I stay with my own feelings and connected to Vivekananda, what you are saying, connected to what would Vivekananda say here? You say that if you see injustice in society, if you see suffering in society, that how will you connect to your spiritual life? This is a place for me to practice spirituality. If it moves you, if it really moves you internally, if you seriously feel for it, not that somebody else is telling you to do it, then you take up, see what you can do there. The feeling, then some plan of action, then actual action. Many people say, I feel very deeply the sufferings of tears come to my eyes, and then say, uske baad? After tears have come to your eyes? No, after some time again tears come. It is good that you feel. It's better to be sensitive, better to feel for others than to be insensitive, than to be brutal. But just emotion itself, it is a kind of indulgence. You will feel very high, deep feelings for others, great love for others. And then I am better than everybody else because I feel love for others and you fellows don't feel love for others. But what are you doing about it? That love should be transmitted, should be transformed into seva, some kind of concrete action. Another kind of option is there now. इसको कहते हैं activism. In US it's very popular, India also is becoming very popular. What is activism? I feel some justice somewhere has to be done, then what will I do? I will fight. Will you help somebody? No. Those who are bad, I will fight against them. So first I will designate, these fellows are bad. Now I have to fight against them. This is my life. Maybe so. But always I will try to see, as an activist, social reformer activist, have you actually helped somebody? That is a clue to our inner motivation. Or is it just fighting and publicity and andolan and all that? So it must go both. Must be constructive, if necessary andolan definitely, but constructive. There must be some basis to us. Our character must be based on real contribution to society. Some people must have been really helped by us, not just internet activism. Yes. Life is a mass of contradictions. You cannot get out of it. And that's why we have been put here. Even if you solve that, there will be other problems. You think about it, what can you do about it? What can you do? If that's, see, it must be a purpose. It should not be, I knew a very wonderful person. He has passed away now. He was seriously moved by the various kinds of suffering he saw. And he would take up some good cause. But the problem was, it was a good cause, another good cause every other day. Aaj ye to kal wo. Think about it. What you are saying is good. And take it up as a mission to do something about it. And see that actually people are helped. Remember, ultimately you cannot make suffering zero in this universe. Can you deprive, a cat is catching a mouse. There is suffering there. What can you do? As long as life is there, suffering will be there. A lizard is catching an insect. Is the insect not suffering? He is suffering. It's not mess. This is the prakash of Brahman. And this is the struggle by which we will become spiritual. Okay, chalo, next.
Thank you.
Yes.
Pranam Maharaj. My name is Jayashree Venkatesh. I'm from Pune and I've been your YouTube student for almost a decade now. So I heard one of your talks where you spoke about Sukha Dukkhe Same Kritva, Labha Labho Jaya Jayo. And when I tried to apply your teaching to the Sukha part of it, it seemed reasonably well. But when it came to Dukkha, my situation was like Karna in the battlefield where when I needed it the most, all my knowledge was lost. So could you please, I seek your guidance in how to overcome this. Thank you.
We say it's like this. People say, there's a saying, Dukh mein sumire sab koi, sukh mein sumire na koi. Jo sukh mein sumire, usko dukh kaye ko hoye. So in our suffering, we call on God. And during our moments of happiness, we don't call on God. In our moments of happiness, if we did call on God, then we would have no suffering at all. Now there's a deep meaning to it. This question is interesting because, as she is saying, it's a common question. Actually, if you think about it, we will say, no, in happiness, I am spiritual. But when dukkha comes, I cannot be spiritual. All this Vedanta and all this, when things are going well, I will come, everything is settled in the samsara, in the job, in my health is also good, then I will come to Pune and attend a talk. Good. But if I am under pressure, if there is a health problem, family problem, job problem, or society-wide, worldwide COVID problem, then somebody asked, when COVID started, I was giving a talk on Vedanta, New York was the highest mortality rate in the world. I was there at that time. No sound in the whole city, the busiest city in one of the busiest cities of the world, no sound except siren, ambulance. And at its peak, 1,000 plus deaths in that city every day, every night. 1,000 plus. So at that time somebody said, at this time also we have to talk about Vedanta. I said, this is the only time. If Vedanta is not useful to us at this time, you're thinking that Vedanta will be useful only when things are okay. Then I can listen to some lecture and I can do some sophisticated philosophy and interesting ideas and debate. No, that's all fine. But it should be useful to us when I'm in trouble, when I'm suffering. So what is the secret here? Secret is this. I heard it from another great Mahatma. He said, when I say that I can remember God when I am happy, It's actually when I'm unhappy, under suffering, then I can't remember God. Vedanta works for me when things are nice. Then it works for me. But when I am suffering, it does not work for me. That Mahatma said, he said, actually, the peace and joy we experience when we are happy and we think we are practicing Vedanta, it's because life is anukul. That means things are going well. From that I am getting the joy, not from my thinking about God. When things are nice, my mind is also nice. So one of the things I do is little Vedanta, little prayer, little meditation. It's not that during when in happiness I'm thinking about God. The happiness I'm getting is from the happy circumstances, not from my bhajan. Therefore, when circumstances change and it is suffering all around, I get suffering also. And I have no interest in thinking about God. Because my happiness did not come from thinking about God. It came from things going well for me in the world. That's a good test. Then what is the solution? The solution is to make sure whether things are going well or not, my source of happiness is God. The japa that I do, that is my source of fulfillment. The little flowers I offer at the feet of Sri Krishna and bow down, that is my tripti, that I've been able to do that. The day I think of God is a holy day. The day I do not think of God is a rainy day. So, once I make sure my happiness is coming from God, in the middle of happy circumstances, when things are going well, I'm getting my happiness from God, and bonus from the world also thinks I'm getting happiness. Things are fine. When things do not go well, my only source of happiness will be God. I will catch hold of God even more tightly then. Like this. That lady has come, yes. Tell us your name and ask the question.
Pranam Maharaj, I'm Pamela Davidson. You've said in several talks, you've talked about the progression from the Panchabhuta to Chinmatra, consciousness, right? Now, the first 3 or maybe 4 steps, somehow intellectually I can follow. Intellectually, actually, the line of argument makes sense. But then, the Wittgenstein effect kicks in. And what you've said and what I've understood, there's a whole crater in between. So could you just go over it, so it would be
It will
lovely.
take 1 hour. But,
No.
but since you have heard it and those who have heard it, to them it will make sense.
Okay.
I am consciousness, it is not difficult to understand. Little effort, little study, little observation, you will show that I am consciousness. Consciousness is there, who doubts it? We all accept. But that consciousness is I. Normally our status is, I am a body with consciousness. To go from that to I am consciousness with a body, that is also not difficult. But the real difficult part of Advaita Vedanta is that other than consciousness, this world is there. This body is there, mind, all of this is also consciousness. I alone am all of this. Non-duality, that's the difficult thing. How to make this world into consciousness? How to see that the whole world, at least understand that the whole world is this world. This is itself consciousness. How to understand that? And that consciousness is I. So there are different ways in Vedanta. One way, and what you are talking about, this I heard from our present Puri Shankaracharya. In one sentence, the whole lecture which I gave, he said in one sentence only. So, what is that sentence? That Jagat, you start with Jagat. This Jagat is nothing. What is this Jagat? Nothing but Panchabhuta Vilasa, a play of 5 elements. What is Panchabhuta Vilasa? That is Maya Vilasa. From Maya, these 5 elements have come. Maya Vilasa. But Maya is nothing other than the power of consciousness. So it is Chid Vilasa, the play of consciousness. But consciousness does not play. So consciousness, what happens in consciousness? Literally does not play. You can poetically say consciousness is playing in so many ways. We just heard Brahmande Khelati Bhagavan. So that is the play of consciousness. But if you are going to be logical about it, what is that play actually? Chid Vilasa will collapse into Chid Vivarta or Brahma Vivarta, an appearance in consciousness. Look at your own experience. What happens in consciousness? Stuff appears. So the universe is an appearance in consciousness. But what appears in consciousness must be pervaded by consciousness. Chinmaya, pervaded by consciousness. If something is appearing on a screen, then the screen pervades the whole thing. Whatever you touch, those letters, you touch the Swami there, the letters there, whatever you're touching, the blank space, whatever you're touching is the screen only. So, If it's appearing in consciousness, this universe must be pervaded by consciousness. In Sanskrit, chinmaya. But pervasion in what sense? In two ways pervasion may be there. One is hall is there, dark. You switch on a light, the light pervades the hall. But hall and light are different. You light an agarbatti, this fragrance of agarbatti will pervade the hall. But agarbatti and hall are different. This is one type of pervasion. Something is there and और कुछ फैल जाता है उसमें. Like that. Or another type of pervasion is there. Another vyapti is there. Like table, this podium and wood. Wood pervades this podium. In what sense? It is wood only. Top is wood, side is wood, inside is wood, outside is wood, bottom is wood. If you touch it, we don't say touch podium, we say touch wood. So, wood pervades this podium, means the podium is through and through wood only. And this is called chinmatram. The universe is consciousness only appearing to be an object to consciousness. So, 7 steps. What are the 7? All entirely borrowed. I am just quoting from Swamiji. Jagat, Panchabhuta Vilasa, Maya Vilasa, Chid Vilasa, then Chid Vivatta, Chinmaya, Chinmatra, consciousness only. What is consciousness only? This one. All right. Last one. We don't have time actually. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Namaskar Swamiji. My name is Anirudh. I'm a student of Yoga Vasishtam and I'm currently working in automobile engineering.
Great combination, automobile engineering and Yoga Vasishta. Wonderful. Okay. Go ahead.
So my doubt is about a contradiction that I face with the spirituality and science, where spirituality is a complete and it's whole. Like whatever it is teaching, there is no wrong thing that we can point out to. And in Yoga Vasishtam also, like there are a few karmas also, like it emphasizes on jnanam and karma, both the things to be done. And the karmas are the karmas which are required for vivekam are yajnadanadi kriyas and tapas and having shamas.
Yeah,
so
make your question pointed.
Yes. So if these karmas are also complete, whereas in the science part where I'm working for automobile engineering, I see a vast amount of pollution happening and just people are not even walking for just 500 meters.
But narrow it down, narrow it down. Make it precise, one sentence. What exactly are you asking?
Yeah, my point is that science is not complete, then how to stay in this, like how to do my scientific activities.
Yes, combine both. As Vivekananda, I just quoted one of the stunning things Vivekananda said, that to see that physics textbook is secular and Veda Upanishad is spiritual, he says this is a great superstition. What a bold statement. That means even science, scientific efforts are spiritual. We are children of the age of science, whatever we say. Those books were written at another type of age. Now, we must embody, we be true to our age. Knowing that spirituality, as you are very lucky that you have grasped Yoga Vasishta, it is pure Advaita. Knowing that it is true, centering yourself in that, can you transform your scientific quest into a spiritual practice? It will be a struggle. Make it into a sadhana. Yes, science is incomplete. That is one of the glories of science, that it is not complete. The science will say that we are in a search of truth. Whatever at present we find to be the truth and right thing we are trying to do. And we will discover, if we find that something better is there, then we replace it. They say the halls of scientific discovery are lined with the skeletons of past theories. But that's how science progresses. This is incomplete. Let it be incomplete. You have got something which is complete. This is the beauty of it. Sri Ramakrishna says ones and zeros. You have got the one. Now you put the zeros after that, one after another. And you can help in the progress of science. You see, if you take only the scientific progress, one might feel empty. That I worked on science, nothing much I discovered. And the scientific science also has not given me any final deep answers also so far. So it's a whole waste. No. You have already got a deep answer from Advaita, from Yoga Vasishta. Now in your chosen field of engineering and automobile engineering, what innovation, what new insights, it's your field, you can think about it. And all of that will be glorious and nice because it is a manifestation of the same Brahman in the field of automobile engineering. All right, on that nice note, let me conclude because we have really run out of time. Thank you so much. Thank you.